The modern world today is filled with with tons of bad habits. You can think of all of them. Video games, porn, junk food, social media. TikTok is in a league of its own. And those are all bad and those can all ruin lives, but that's not what I want to talk about in this video. Today I want to talk about something much more fundamental and something much more permanent in the way that it permeates and influences and shapes your life. So, number one, I'm going to teach you I'm going to talk about 3 habits. And the first one is never listening. The bad habit of never listening. When I was a kid, I played a lot of Minecraft. And I had this period where I was completely fucking addicted, obsessed with Minecraft. And it would literally be all I could talk about. People would try to talk to me, and it was like, "Oh, how was your day?" So I played Minecraft, and I built this thing, beat the Ender Dragon, and stuff. And yeah, but how did school go? Yeah, it was all right. And then I built something else, and kept bringing it back to Minecraft, no matter what. And then people were like, "Oh, actually, I did something today," and they tried to tell me about something from their own lives. "Oh, that's cool." And then I did this thing in Minecraft. And I saw this YouTuber in Minecraft, and it would all go back to Minecraft. And I was deeply addicted to the game, so that's all I knew, and I didn't have the skill of listening dialed in. And you can tell, you can imagine how annoying that would be to speak to. And I was a kid, so people people didn't cut me out for that reason, because I was a kid, I was family. But imagine how much more interesting it would be if I dropped my ego and I thought, okay, I won't be thinking about what I want to talk about when people are speaking to me. When there's something people want to tell you, then you can just listen, because it's something they think would be of value to you. And it would be so much more enriching than just waiting for the opportunity to cut them off and go into speaking about what you want to talk about. Okay, so yeah, the trick is to kind of put your ego in check, and instead of thinking, the trick is to, whenever someone's talking to you and they're telling you something, the trick is to, whenever you catch yourself thinking of what you want to say, drop that idea. You don't need preparation. You don't need that preparation. Instead, just listen fully to what they're saying and then respond. Don't think of what you want to say, because that's going to end up being off topic. And it can be frustrating in the beginning, because there's something you want to say, but that eager will end up getting smaller and smaller, because you realize it's much more enriching to just listen to what other people said. And it's really important to ask questions. That can be a massively powerful thing. I'm not intuitively very good at social skills, but a very, very powerful technique is to literally just ask questions. I always thought that to be good at social interactions, you had to be the guy who cracked the funniest jokes or who said the most interesting things. When actually the best conversationalists, the people who others want to talk to, are the people who ask the best questions. It's the people who want to know the other person. So that's the skill you should be developing. Nobody cares if you're funny, if you're a bad listener, if you don't care what they have to say. It doesn't matter. It actually becomes very easy if you just have to ask questions. If you make it a game of asking questions and getting them to talk, because people love to talk. I want to talk, but yeah. And also keep the mindset that you can learn something from everybody. Kind of imagine it like digging for gold, because you can learn something from everybody, and asking questions is the only way to get that gold out of someone. So there's so much to be learned about that. there was something else I wanted to add to this point. I can't remember. Yeah. Actually, just to make sure that I wouldn't just, I'm not just talking, I'm not just saying this without adding any, without really being good at it myself, or without checking that. I went in and asked my dad how he thought I was as a listener. Because I knew I'd be able to get some constructive criticism, and if I wasn't a good listener, if I didn't make him feel heard, if I didn't have that skill dialed in, he would tell me. And he told me I was good. I was generally good at it, and I had improved at it a lot since my Minecraft phase, for example. And he also said I need to be better at asking other people about their lives. So that's why I added that part. Ask other people about their lives. People love to talk about their lives. Their lives. Okay. The second habit is the habit of 80%. Imagine you're at the gym. You're doing leg day and you're doing squats, and you have one set left of the entire workout, and then you can go home. But you really don't feel like it. What do? Because this action predicts so much of your future, because if you don't feel like it, then you don't do it. That is going to spread into everything else you do. So when you start a business, you're going to quit at 80% because you did most of the work. When you go into a career, you're going to do 80%. And you don't really feel like doing the rest, like the details that don't seem to really matter in the moment, but that still stack up. Anything you do, if you teach yourself the habit in the gym of finishing at 80% rather than 100, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're changing your identity, you're changing your self-story to be that of a quitter. You're teaching yourself the habit of 80%. And you think it doesn't really matter in the gym, like the last set, it doesn't do that much, but it's not about the last set. It's about what you train yourself to become, and you train yourself to quit at 80% if you don't. Imagine years off into the future when you're doing this big project, big, like, career-defining project. And you could launch now, it's kind of ready. It's not perfect yet, or very, like, awesome yet, but you could launch it now, and it might do okay. Or you could invest more into it. You can go all in, and you could do that. You would choose to just kind of do a mediocre thing. You would choose to settle for mediocrity in everything you do. If you decided to upload a video per day, to grow a YouTube channel, if you decide to write 1,000 words per day, you would be the guy who either wrote 800 words per day or uploaded a video 6 days a week. Neither of those guys are going to get the same incremental gains that the person who's consistent would. So that's just a reminder to don't train yourself, for example, in the gym, to be at the habit of 80%, because that is just training yourself to be a loser, and you're not in the gym to train yourself to be a loser, to be a quitter. Okay. The third habit is the habit of consumption. And when I say consumption, I mean consumption of media and of educational content even. And don't get me wrong, the habit, like, consumption is awesome. Consuming books, consuming podcasts, audiobooks, videos even, like, these are great things that you can learn so much from. But I'm not talking about you should be consuming less. I'm talking about you should make time for production as well. This could be writing 1,000 words per day. That's a really good habit. That could be making a video per day. That could be coding. That could be making music. Literally anything. Like, the thing that really interests you, that you like to do, go and get really good at that and go and produce something consistently in that. And the reason why I'm saying this is of course you want to consume, because there's so much knowledge that can be gained there, but production is what really moves the bar in terms of internalizing the learnings, because once you try to teach them, you're going to internalize them so much better. There's this saying, if you want to know something, read about it. If you want to learn something, write about it. But if you want to master something, teach it. And this is where we want to be. This is what this is. This is an attempt to speed up my own improvement. It acts kind of like my diary in a certain way, where I choose something that matters to me and I try to format it into a video that can be useful to others. And that's kind of my journal. That's kind of where I reflect and where I unpack the things that I'm learning. And that gives me so much, that teaches me so much, and that helps me so much in growing. And second off, you start to develop this creator's eye, which just adds so much depth to anything else you consume. So I went back to Eamon Gadzhi. I used to watch a lot of him. I don't anymore, but I went back to looking through some of his videos because I wanted to know what he did for intros. So I clicked on one of his videos, and I started noticing not just the things that he wanted me to notice, like the stories he was telling, and the way he was trying to engage people. I noticed the way that his intro was making you curious, like a curiosity-based intro that he was making. And he made you ask a central question like, like he made you interested in what he was about to talk about. And then he went into it. Doing all these different things. You start gaining so much more value from these videos, and you move above that level. So there's so much to be gained from starting to produce in some way. And I hope this helped, and thank you for watching.